Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tommy Talk Show. I'm your host, TW Suggs, and who you just heard was the one and the only Jack Drummond. This show is near and dear to my heart. It's entitled Rhythm, Soul, and Sound, and we're celebrating the legacy and contributions of Black artists. And of course, with this show being released in the month of February, Black History Month, it gives us an opportunity to celebrate and acknowledge our culture, our giants, the ones who have paved the way for us in arts, and shaped and shifted the culture, communities, and the world. This episode is going to feature a combination of dialogue, conversation, laughs, possibly even a few tears, and even some live contributions of art with my guests. And today, who I have with me, again, I have Jack Drummond and I have Nikki Powerhouse. Jack Drummond and Nikki Powerhouse, welcome to the Tommy Talk Show.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. How y'all feeling?
Excited.
Yeah?
Excited, full,
Yeah?
fulfilled.
Hey, I know that's right.
Hungry. I mean, excited and very, very happy to be here. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank
indeed.
you.
It's early.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was saying off camera that the Philadelphia art community is so vast, right? And a lot of us know each other, you know what I mean? But when I was pulling this show together, I go with my gut, I go with what's in my heart. And the two people who came to my heart were you both. And I said I could not have this show without you both sitting at this table. So it means so much to me, and I'm not going to cry. Yes, I will. Hey. It means so much to me for you both to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into their bios and everything else like that, but it really does mean a lot that you both are here. We've known each other for years. I have admired you both close and far, seeing the impact that you both have made in the community. I appreciate the sacrifices that you both have made, because it's not easy being an artist. It's not. Let me take that back. It's not easy being an artist who transforms the culture, the world, the community with their art, because it involves a lot of, self-discovery, a lot of sitting within self, sacrifice, etc. So just wanted to say thank you for being here and thank you for all that you both do.
You got it.
That part.
The breath, the synchro. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Say what you.
No, because just like you were saying in the car, that Tommie's has such a heart.
Yes. Yes.
There's such a beat.
Indeed.
And for me, it's such an intentionality behind everything that you do. And you didn't give me a whole lot of what, where, and who, and how. It was a full yes.
Wow.
Because I remember, a part of the journey, because it's just like you were saying about transforming the culture, the people.
Yeah.
But that transformation doesn't happen until it happens within yourself. That transformation, that's why it can happen in that wide, because the work that happened in you.
Yeah.
The full yes, I resonate with wholeheartedly. And we were talking about you. We were speaking words of goodness about you, because literally that's all that comes to mind.
Wow.
For one, right? And it's easy to kind of pick people apart and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when I think of you personally, it's always just this image of a heart, an open heart, just a bleeding heart.
Wow.
You always love on people. Always. You are, really someone that I can say has openly expressed love to almost everybody who we know in common.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that about you. I'm always inspired and moved. And I know when we have conversation, and I got a tendency to be crazy, a little all over the place. I really am. And the self-proclaimed, it is what it is. But you always anchor, and ground our connection in love. And I love that. Because I can't really say that I know anyone like that. I know people who give love, I receive love, that sort of thing. So it's a reciprocity about it, but none like with you. So thank you. So thank you. Attitude of gratitude. And
yes, indeed.
Man.
Yes, indeed.
Yo, they're just filling me up right now. Oh man, our producer just gave us the thumbs up, man. We're on the right track. That means so much to me. That really means a lot. Let me get into the bio so that people know who we have at the table. People already know who we have at the table because you were Jack and Nikki Powerhouse, but I want people to know the awesomeness that you're doing in the community. We're gonna hop into some talk, and again, we're gonna hop into some live performance. All right, so I'm gonna start with my wonderful sister, Nikki Powerhouse. Nikki Powerhouse is a Philly native whose creative force speaks to the human spirit. Yes, it does. She is a recipient of the Leeway Foundation 2023 Transformation Grant. Woohoo! Hey. Go, sis. As a trauma-informed teaching artist, she uses performance and literary art to create a space for collective healing and transformation within communities. She is a published author of 2 books and 1 personal journal. And also, she has 2 powerful one-woman shows, The Art of I Am and The Softest Part of Her. Nikki is a graduate of Temple University with a Bachelor of Art in Theater and Communication. Nikki believes art should engage and transform the creator and the viewer. We have to talk about that part. Nikki Powerhouse, welcome, boo.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then we have my brother, Jack Drummond. Jack Drummond is a skilled violinist who has performed at various venues in Philadelphia and around the world, international, including Carnegie Hall. Yeah. He has had the privilege of playing with notable musicians such as Patti LaBelle, John Blake, Teddy Pendergrass. In addition to his musical talents, Jack is a leader, administrator, and faculty member who currently serves as the director of restorative practices for Penn Medicine. He received his training in Philadelphia and is a W.E.B. Du Bois CH faculty fellow. Jack is currently teaching at both the University of Pennsylvania and Lincoln University, LU. He is also the managing director of Collage of Talent, LLC, a company that supports artists along their journey. He has also founded a community string ensemble for young boys and men of color in Philadelphia. Jack Drummond, welcome, my friend.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, Jack.
So we're going to hop into the art and everything else like that, but I think a good place to start is, how did you both get started? So, Nikki, you have like this powerful voice and you own the room. How did you get started? And Jack, like, you're playing the violin, which is not an instrument you see a lot of Black boys, especially when we were growing up. Right? That's not an instrument that we see a lot of Black boys or even Black boys really being interested in the arts, the musical arts at all, besides rap and things of that nature when we were kind of coming up as well. So how did you both get started?
You want to take it first? My story is very simple. There was a young lady who I was interested in I guess like late elementary, early middle school, around 6th grade is kind of where I started really getting serious about playing. But I never wanted to play the violin.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to play the saxophone because it was cool. I wanted to play the drums like every other Black boy.
Yep.
But at my school, in the hood, if you will, there weren't many options. So there were only string instruments left. So I said, okay, well, if we playing strings, I need to play the boy instrument. So give me the cello. And the cello was yay high and I was yay high. So I was like, oh, I can't do that because, too small for that. But long story bearable, she played, and she got the attention from, the teachers and all of that. So I was like, all right, well, I want her attention and I want the teachers' attention, et cetera. And that's how I started. And then incidentally, she stopped playing and I fell in love with my music teacher, who was literally, and she still is a powerhouse in music. Yeah. And, and she didn't play. So, I like the discipline. I like, sort of this idea of doing something different. I've always been an anomaly, and I always traveled a different route. If everybody's going this way, I'm like, I want to do that. So So she kept me grounded there and had an opportunity to open a lot of doors since. So, yep.
Wow.
So
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's amazing, man.
I would like to, I think it was around 13, 8th grade. I had like experiences along the way that was like opened my mind. I'm like, oh, I like this. Or I like to see that type of expression.
Yeah.
But I first got my first time on stage creating an audition in a talent show at school.
Yeah.
And the way I created on the spot blew my mind and the kids' mind, because I didn't understand, like, these kids are just sitting there watching me and I'm watching them, and their eyes are welling up.
Wow.
And I didn't know why they were, but I just kept going.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just making it up. But of course, when I grew up and I got really further in it, it was like, it was improvisation. And what I understood is that it was always in me to tap into being comfortable to speak from a true place. And it wasn't about acting. It was about telling the truth and being in the moment and honoring one's feelings, because it was a permission for me to be open to like what my journey was. And so I think when I was in 8th grade, it was just a matter of me just like, wow, this, not only can I express myself out loud, but I can inspire others to feel in the space. So we're like feeling out loud together. Like, I like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what I do.
Wow. Feeling out loud.
Yeah. And it wasn't for, I think I love that, by the way. Right. And it wasn't just me. It wasn't just like this discovery or this inquiry or this like curiosity that I had about it. You know, I want to pay homage to my mother, who made transition in 2017, you know, for playing music, you know, the greats. You know, I would always listen to an Aretha Franklin, you know, Patti LaBelle, you know, Donny Hathaway, you know, some of the greats, you know. So that was also in me as well. And I've always had an affinity for sound. You know, right now I call myself a scientist of sound, and just really kind of experiment how people react to it and accept it and give it and that sort of thing, because everybody has their own melody, you know. So, you know, but and I see people as being musical as well. Yeah. Right? Because there are lots of people who say, you know, well, I'm not musical, I'm not this, I'm not that. And I'm like, well, elements of music, melody, harmony, pitch, rhythm, form, that's what they teach you. Yeah. Right? And the idea is that, you know, we sort of embody that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. You know, our organs work harmoniously, right? We have a melody. You can recognize a voice, a tone, right? Our heart, our first drum, right, keeps the rhythm, you know, so on and so forth. So I think everybody's musical. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Besides saying that, you know, like, in school, I had this inspiration who was a young lady. No, it's also been because of my family and because of, you know, how I've grown up. Yeah.
Let's, you know, and you took me somewhere when you gave your mom her flowers, you know, and rest her soul, right? Who were the people who were instrumental in your development as a Black artist? Who can we give flowers to right now, past or present?
You know, when I think about my mother, like growing up, my mother took her bedroom, and every Saturday morning she would empty out her bedroom and have my cousin would teach us dance.
Wow.
So it was a part of the experience, realizing that like you get to express yourself out loud. Yeah. Now this is the same room that she was experiencing her own experiences, her life and growing, and her being motherhood and just life. Yeah. But creating a space where in the same space to break out, to be free. And I think that that's remembering her. When I think about like Cicely Tyson, like I think her line of creativity, her way of showing up on screen, off screen,
Yeah.
her integrity around the work that she did
Yeah.
and why she did it. And then her leaving this planet and leaving behind Just As I Am. Like, just if you didn't hear or see, here's another way of saying you get to show up and have a responsibility in the art and really own it, because you have a responsibility beyond the entertainment or the accolades.
Wow.
But you have a responsibility to shift, to transform the people, yourself in the process.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was inspirational as well, but my mom didn't like the violin. I grew up down the bottom in Philadelphia, and my mom was like, "Where's that screech? Can you please shut that up for a little bit? Like I can't deal with, I can't sleep, I can't take a nap, whatever." But so she didn't do But in terms of people, others who really inspired me in the work, of course, my immediate teachers, who I believe are just greats. Ebony Strings, shout out to Ebony String, EBONI with an I, Ebony with an I. But yeah, because it's another one. But anyway, but some of the greats. John Blake was the first melanin enriched male identifying violinist. Have to be political with the terms these days. He was the first Black man that I saw play the violin in a way that was transformative to me.
Wow.
I kind of was just doing it just to do it, and I never really saw Black men do it. I saw a couple other Black boys, right? Kind of do it, but I never saw men do it.
Wow.
And then when I saw him do it, and I had an opportunity to play alongside, I was wow. And then I started to learn about folks like Stuff Smith, who was a Black violinist, and like jazz and big band, all that sort of thing. And, No Pointer, and just a whole bunch of, and a whole listing of violinists. But the person who I think I would bring up as a muse is not even a violinist, but that would be Nina Simone.
Wow.
I mean, wholeheartedly really transformed this idea of how to use music for me.
Wow.
Such a revolutionary spirit. The songs were just in your face, like very clear, very, forward. Like this is, you're going to listen, you're going to hear me.
Wow.
I have a voice. I don't need you to sort of like, you don't have to do all of that. Like, this is what it is. So all of my violins, my immediate ones, are named Nina. This is Nina, actually.
Hey, Nina.
This is Nina, right? And it's an old Czech instrument, but whatever. But this is Nina, and I have a couple electric violins and some others, but they're named after 4 women. So so I have Peaches, which is my electric violin that I rock out on. 4 women. My name.
Yes, honey. Yes,
right? So I have, I'm glad I ain't tried to sing that, but you know what I'm talking about.
You got it. You got the
I have
note.
Saffronia, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But all the names of the 4 women are my most intimate instruments. So, she's
I think it's such character for you. It makes sense. Like when I see you and hear you, when even just you talking about it, it's such a, that would be the instrument for you. Like, this is you. Like, that's the extension of, it's very sip coffee experience. It's very experience for me.
Experience.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Love that.
Something that you both shared that was really key for me was how people created the whether you knew them or not, they created the platform, the environment for you to explore, and not just explore, but for you to be and for you to become. And it didn't take a lot for Mom. She took a room that she already had, she transformed it, and now you're transforming rooms.
I show. Wait. Woo-wee.
Right? And for you, the Black gentleman that you mentioned, what's his name again?
John Blake.
John Blake. You saw him playing and it resonated with you in such a way where now you're showing up as a John Blake for other Black boys.
You see that?
Yeah, he is going in.
Come on now.
I was like,
I didn't know this was a reading. Come on now. I ain't come here to be read. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to say I appreciate you both for being vulnerable enough to step into those spaces to be and to become, because you are creating spaces for other people to be and to become. And with them being and becoming, that's also a lifeline, right? But especially with what our Black kids are going through, with what our Black families are going through, and with people in general, whether you're Black, white, polka dot, neon, whatever, what they're going through. And it makes me mindful that for me to encourage the community that's listening right now, transform the room.
Indeed.
Don't wait for a grant to come through. Don't wait until you have everything perfect. If all you have is a living room, if all you have is a voice, if all you have is a cell phone, transform the room. Somebody needs you to transform it. Nikki, so what we have with us, so Nikki is an author, right? And she has with us one of the books, The Softest Part of Her is Everything. Nikki, I do want you to do a reading from this, but talk to us about this book. What is this about? Why was it important for you to write? Who were you trying to reach? What's going on with this book, sis?
The Softest Part of Her is Everything was birthed in 2020. It was the moment where I got to be with myself, for myself. And it was a matter of saying, I get to discover the fullness of me with no interruptions. Or me even making distractions because the sitting with was unbearable. But because of what was necessary, because and let's keep it, 2020 COVID was happening and it took us out.
Yeah.
But when I got to sit down, my ancestors, the way my ancestors are set up, they was like, well, now that we got your attention, let's talk about the things that were there before COVID.
Whoa.
Because when this is over, what we don't want is you to keep on doing what you were doing before COVID.
Wow.
And use COVID as an excuse of why you didn't.
Wow.
So let's us take a moment.
Wow.
You got the whole year.
Wow.
And I have never been that intimate with myself that long and not have a way to like go get a dance on, go travel somewhere, go do this, do that, see this one, have this one, call, whatever.
Yeah.
I had open, wide, limitless space to discover me in this full capacity.
Wow.
From love to forgiveness to pleasure to desire to everything. I don't hold back no parts because everything matters when you get to discover you and say, be like, you know what? I like what I see.
Wow.
I know what I need. Boundaries. I know what I need to forgive. I know that grief is a ongoing, a ever flowing. I know what that is. I know what I desire. I know what I deserve. I know what I'm asking the universe for, and I know that I'm patient to wait on that.
Yeah.
And get myself together and transform me. So the softest part is an invitation to say, you get to see you, you get to explore you.
Wow.
And the parts that you may not like, you get to like yourself through it. Woo! You get to love yourself through it.
Wow.
Like, and one of the things that I often said that my breakthrough is me waiting on the other side for me.
Wow.
So I get to know that I get to be the hero in my story.
Wow.
Yes.
Go ahead, sis.
Interview done.
Right, it is.
I'm certainly
If all
not saying
hearts and
anything
minds are
after-
clear.
Exactly. Certainly not saying anything after that.
Nikki, can you give us a reading from the book?
Okay. I'm going to do Talking Drums.
Okay.
In the beginning, where time had no meaning, we were the sum of galaxies and God's breath. Infinity orbited the earth and created itself into an umbilical cord, so all of human life would embody her DNA. You are limitless. Now, some of you didn't think you would make it this far. The world had marked you failures, and you believed them. Some of you didn't think you could make it off the block. See, your four corners was as far as you would dream, but you had grandparents that visit you at night so that you could see the rainbows in the dark. They would pass down stories holding up the mirrors in front of you. You got to speak the thing into existence, child. You got to speak the thing into existence. Then I am my great-great-grandmother's laughter. The sound of her voice cradled me in my night dreams. And when I look at her, she embodies everything. Her voice travels through branches and all the children. We sit under the baobab tree and we listen with our hearts and mind wide open as she delivers earth messages through rhythmic breath. She tells me. She tells you. She tells each and every one of you, hand-plucked from heaven's branches and sowed into Mother's earth soil to sprout, to bloom. Children, remember your first name. Remember your first name. Remember your first name. Remember the bottom deck. See, the backs ache sore by the mother's rape. We witnessed the sister use the body as bait, but we still must remember our first name. You. Shaped and saturated in the stars, reflecting perfect light, painted in gold and outlined in silver. Your smile alone is a sunrise, carved into sculptures of undeniable power. Children, your first name is I Am. Your last name is Power. Your first name is I Am. Your last name is Brilliant. Your first name is I Am. Your last name is Potential. Your first name is I Am. Your last name is Everything. Your first name is everything. Your first name is everything. They will ask you your first name in board meetings around the globe. And no, your first name will never be lost. It will hide itself in your backbone. So every time that you speak, them ancestors will gather to hold you up. Children, remember your first name. And when they ask you, it may come out as a whisper, but it will thunder. Children, you must remember your first name. You were sent to tell the others of their birthright. You, each and every one of you, walk your I am. Walk your I am and embody it. It is not what you say. It is what you become. And then you will realize that it was everything that you were all along. Your I am is your birthright. Children, remember your first name. I am.
Wow.
Tell me so many things.
Yeah.
Tommie is so many things.
Many.
Oh my goodness! Like,
well, he said transform the room.
yes,
and this is the room that we're going to transform.
I'm like, da-da-da, and you get a wow. Wow. Yeah.
So talk to me about what you just played.
Yeah, so that was an original moment of right now. We can call it right now. It literally was just some notes about right now.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Wow.
Yes, right now. Yes, right now is a moment.
I am now.
Now.
I am now.
That's it.
Yeah, it literally was right now. Yeah. We know a lot of songs. You know, and sometimes as musicians and instrumentalists and things like that, we try to play the perfect piece all the time. We try to either mimic a sound or recreate something that we've created in the past. And right now, I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Wow.
And right now. And right now. And right now. So yeah, so that was right now.
Wow.
And original.
I'm trying to tell you that you both are transforming this space, and it reminds me of the amazing responsibility that we have as artists. Something that you played, you just kind of, all right, I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna just call it right now. But the power that came from that, you know what I mean? The beauty that came from that was so transformative. Nikki, you say something in your bio where you said that art is supposed to transform the artist that's doing it and the person that's viewing it. How have you all seen that happen in your own lives? And and I guess the real question is, how do we get to that point of transformation for us as artists first, so that we can transform the world?
That's like you said, art should transform the viewer and the receiver. The reality of it is that you get to, there's no art one can share without sharing a bit of themselves. I think that's a responsibility as an artist for me, because I think what we do with the work and what the work does to me before it becomes what the people can see, there is a transformation. There is a process. There is a thing that's happening that you don't know nothing about. But because I'm true to my art, it comes with me. Because I believe that the parts that I struggle with or challenge me, it's in the room.
Wow.
So for some, it'll be good for the people who see a polished product, if you will. But then me being conscious to knowing that part is in the room too.
Wow.
Brings a space of feeling out loud.
Indeed. There's sort of a what I want to call a culture, if you will, of giving and receiving art and art forms. I think that the beauty and love that you see in someone else's art can be a testament to the beauty and love that's inside. Could be a reflection, you know. And I think that the sort of negativity and the discord and the dissonance of art forms that we hear, that we experience, that we see, that we touch, you know, can also be something that mirrors something perhaps on the inside that is disagreeing with us, right? That is something that is difficult to accept. That is something that, you know, so when we, you know, if when I was younger, you know, in yesteryear, I would think, you know, without mentioning like age and stage right now, right? You know, see the salt and pepper. But anyway, the point is, you know, I did not listen to a particular genre of music because I just didn't like it, right? And then as I got older, I started to explore why I didn't appreciate a particular sound, right? And why it did not resonate with me, and why and what and who and where and how. And then after I started to respect it, then I was able to accept it. And when I say respect, I talk about it from an etymological standpoint, where spec means to view or to see, and re means to do it again. And I think that it was my inclination that just as a being, a breather, a human, to really kind of judge and evaluate as soon as I experience something, and that would be the story. Once it was created, I experienced it. That would be the story I stick with. However, this idea of respecting art and art forms, right? Respecting, looking again, seeing it again, experience it again, because I am a fluid person who is developing at, in many stages throughout time and that sort of thing. So what I liked before, I might not like now. And what I didn't like before, I may appreciate it now. I eat broccoli now. I did not like broccoli. You know what I mean? I didn't like anything like green that I was told to eat.
Yeah.
Plus, I have an issue with authority, but they don't tell me to eat, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But now I enjoy it. I was able to respect it. I was able to grow a palate and an understanding for the benefits it may have, for me, and just a different type of understanding. So, long story bearable, to me, art in many ways is a reflection of those things that we need to kind of remain balanced.
Yeah.
Those harmonious things, in a toxic environment, if you will. A lot of us, describe the world as being toxic around us in many instances, whether it's like work or school or life or community or family. There's all this toxicity, and that's sort of become like the reigning sort of story. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know who I'm turning into right now, but it's like, it's just toxic. I'm in a toxic, situation, and my supervisor, and like it's just a lot of, you talk about that toxicity, right? And to me, balance is power, right? So I think the art sometimes helps to bring me back to balance and bring me back. It serves as my catharsis. Yeah. It serves as the thing that I need in many moments, right? To kind of lean on to get me back to myself. Like I am not this, person who is bogged down by the, monotony of what the world brings. I am, right? I'm introduced. I am balanced.
Yeah.
So that's what the art does for me.
Part.
Yeah.
And we're a people of call and response.
Yeah.
We're a people of what we give, what's returned back to us. And I think that's the beauty behind the work that I've done is that it's a matter of like, if I want the people to transform and they don't know what that looks like, what that feels like, then I have to show them.
Wow.
Now, listen, I've told the Most High and my creators and ancestors, look, can you stop putting me out on these vulnerable streets? But I think that is the beauty behind that's how we are part of the lineage and a part of the discovery is that you get to show up your full authentic self. And you get to experience that, and you want others to experience that. You want others to experience what you're experiencing. So you want to give as much so that you can get the response of that same energy. Because even as a performer, like when I'm on stage, your response is giving me my fuel. Yeah. It's like, yes, I'm here. I'm here, and y'all, okay, got it. I'm here even more. Let's go.
It's a talk back.
Yeah. It's a talk
that's
back.
That response.
That's yes.
That's
like,
hey, that circle.
You know what? When you were talking about the given response, I think when people, for our listeners, especially as performers, when we're talking about the given response, there are different ways for viewers to respond that empowers the artist. So there's, of course, the applause, there's things that come with the mouth, but then there's something that actually flies beneath the radar, where you get to this space as an artist and it feels like you all are on the same pulse. And the response doesn't manifest in something that's heard with the ear. It manifests with something where you can feel the hearts of the people, and you can feel the energy. You can feel the response, either their heart being healed, their hearts crying, their hearts asking for more, their hearts asking questions. And it goes back to what I was saying in reference to the responsibility that we have as artists, because we have, and the importance of for artists to have self-care, right? Because to be able to be centered in that space, to hold that. So in essence, so let me go here. So in essence, it's like we are artists, but at its root, we are healers that manifest itself through art.
There we go.
Boy.
And we're done again.
And it's over.
Yeah.
That's what we are. And that also can help explain some of our own journeys as artists, because God knew that we had to hold space for people. The situation may not have been the same, but the heartbreak may have been similar. So God will sometimes send an artist through things, whether it's loss, confusion, hurt. God, where are you? God, I don't like this. And it's not about separating or divorcing ourselves from those feelings. It's about standing in that, owning it, and performing from that space.
Yeah.
So we have and you also mentioned the fluidity of artists. You mentioned your own fluidity, and how I didn't like broccoli at first, but now I do. And I think that as artists, we have to be mindful of our own fluidity and be okay. Because I think about a river, and there are parts of the river that go smooth, and there's parts that's a little rocky.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the flow.
Yeah. You're saying a lot. And I feel like I want to say like a lot too, but I'm gonna try to keep it, short, like in terms of responding to what you're saying. So, first thing that comes to mind is that there are many sayings, there are many adages, there are many proverbs. There's Ubuntu, right? There's an African proverb that says that I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. So that speaks to that, this idea that we're all connected. So when you talked about, artists sometimes being connected beyond the art form or the display of art, right? And then I'm also reminded of these titles that we kind of have, and this is why I kind of call everybody an artist, everybody a musician, everybody. It's not like I do this, so now I am the artiste. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I am this. You're right. And if we're speaking truth to ourselves, we are all uniquely and creatively designed, and right? As breathers or whatever we want to call ourselves this week, right? But the idea, right, is that we all have this element. It's something in all of us, that can promote that healing, right? And that taps into the work that I do, and the work that I'm really passionate about now, about really kind of looking at healing from an individual point of view as well as a group connectedness point of view.
Yeah.
And also looking at how to resolve conflicts, the various conflicts that we endure in life. And then, right, connecting it to this idea of building community and sustaining community, right, in that. So that's something that I believe has been sort of like this multifaceted connector, and I feel like music has been the connector in many of the, positions that I've had or things that I've done with or for other people or companies and that sort of thing. And I think that, as an artist right now, here we go, right? The self-proclaimed. As an artist, I feel like it is our responsibility to, because you talked about, how we're giving back and we're doing the things that has been done to us. In a sense, it's our responsibility to do that, right?
Yeah.
And with that in mind, we need to promote healing.
Yes, sir.
There are a lot of people with a lot of wounds, right, that we encounter, including ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So promoting healing, resolving conflicts.
Yeah.
Some things ain't as deep as we make it, right?
Yeah.
And some things are, and some things aren't. Right? And looking at what community, what community, what community means to us becomes really big in how I'm considering myself an artist right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So we have, Puzzle, how much time we got, man? Like 3 minutes or 5 or?
You got 8.
8 minutes. Okay. All right. So
lots can be done in 8 minutes.
A lot can be
Let's
done in 8 minutes.
keep it appropriate, Jesus.
Okay.
Lord. We're going to keep ourselves.
Page, turn to page.
Right. We're going to.
So talk to me about some stuff that you both have coming up. Yeah, what's going on?
Journal through the softest part. It is a guided journal book that will accompany to the softest part of her is everything, and accompany to the one woman show, the softest part of her.
Yeah.
What I discovered is that people come to my show and they see and they get unearthed and they're not as prepared.
Wow.
And because I know what the process is to getting to that moment of like what's going on, I think it's a matter of, as an artist, as a healer, as a person who's been through some, as responsible to helping people to get through.
Yeah.
And so that is that for the journal through the softest part.
Yeah. And
March 29th, I have my one woman show, The Softest Part of Her, will be at CEC. So we're working, I'm not working on it. It's done. It's happening. 29th. So I'm excited about that. And there's more more stuff that will be coming down the pipe. And I think now, as a recipient of the Leadway Foundation Transformation Grant, let's go. The reality of it is that I've known about this grant for years.
Yeah.
But it had to take me some time to build up the muscle of audacity to believe so much in myself that last year was going to be the year. And it was the year more because my mother made transition 8 years ago.
Okay.
So I always said her transition was my transformation.
Wow.
So I finished the application in the month of her transition, which was in September, to say, well, if that's the case, well, what did I mean by that? And my mama said, this is what you meant. This is what we're talking about, the transformation, because I've seen you do the work.
Wow.
I know you've done the work. So, and it's truly walking in the embodiment of transformation. I am self-care, softest part. Like it's not just things that's being said. It is a full embodiment of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. How can we get tickets to, how can we?
When it goes on sale, I believe we're still working on the details of it, but it'll be on my website, NikkiPowerhouse.com, or my Instagram, Nikki Powerhouse, all platforms. So yeah, you will definitely. Because it's also a more we're creating, because the month of March is not only Her Story Month, but it's also Social Work Month.
Okay.
So it's a spin on to speak to healers healing.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're doing the work that we need to do.
Yeah.
And not just doing the work that for others.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, sir? What
Listen,
you got coming up?
So I will be going to Nikki's show finally.
Same here.
Yeah, right. So that's one thing I got going on. And I just also wanted to just give a shout out, a vibe out, uplift my group member, Tahita Smith, who goes by Black Tie. You know,
What's up, boo?
She doing everything all around, you know, everywhere. And you know, we are Stroke Strings, and we are continuing to play. You know, we do weddings, bar mitzvahs, you name it. So whatever. But so that's one thing. And then I'm so excited that we are launching finally an idea that I've been sitting on, you know, for about, I want to say like 10, 11 years now. And it is really a testament to what music has done for me, right? And a testament to that responsibility that I was referring to earlier about, you know, we have to give back. But it is so far, it's called the West Philadelphia String Music and Mentorship Program.
Let's go.
And I'm sure we're going to change that name.
Let's go.
Because, again, because we are, the participants are going to help to name themselves, right?
Wow.
That's another thing, that whole self-determination piece, you know, having the ability to do that. So not a fan of hegemony. Let them name themselves, and let's live in that name. So that is starting, and we're launching this month in February.
Excellent.
So far as the 17th, but I'm not sure it's gonna be on that day. But anyway, we're doing that. But I'm just so excited about it.
Excellent.
You know, we have instruments, we have interests, we have people who are ready to go, and we're gonna make it do what it do. And it's a 3-pronged program. It's not only music and sort of this concentration around what music is and learning the rudiments. It is also a peacekeeping element, right? Where we are teaching students how to become circle keepers, which is one of the models around under restorative practices or under that umbrella. So that's another component. Then also the third component is a rite of passage, you know, where we'll be talking about, you know, boyhood to manhood, men and masculinities, you know, boyhood to adulthood, right? Civic engagement, you know, all the things that are a part of, you know, sexuality, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? You know, artistry, right? All the elements of culture, language, right? What does that mean? You know, ritual, religion, all the things, you know, that are really a part of, you know, growing the lexicon of young men to become engaged, you know, knowledgeable, you know, empowered, you know, men. So I'm excited about that. I really am. And then you know, I'm really connected to and surrounded by a lot of beautiful people who I'm hoping will contribute.
Oh yes, you already know. Like,
speaking life into them, speaking life into them, and you know, and having life spoken in return. You know, because I know, you know, it's not all about I've done this or we had you know all these experiences. And we gonna tell you no, they have life too. They come with something. You know, every major revolution, you know, in our, you know, in the really the history of melanated people has had something to do with students and young minds and wisdom, you know, through them and whatever. Anyway, so I'm gonna get off that high horse, but that is what's starting in February, and we're excited about it. Excellent. We are moved. We are inspired. We ready. So
how can people be a part of that? How can people connect with you?
Sure. So they can connect with me in many ways. We don't have like a website yet, but that's under construction. It's happening. But I'm on LinkedIn, Jack Drummond.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably the only one. My pop, maybe, I don't know. But Jack Drummond on Instagram is Jack Drum or at Jack Drum. And, you know, if you're a person of a certain age, Facebook is Jack Drummond. Right? So get at me, holler at me, and I'll tell you anything you want to know about it.
That works. That works. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We are, you know what? Let's go ahead and close out right now. I am TW Suggs, your host for the TOMMIE Talk Show. And with me, I had the one and awesome Jack Drummond, Nikki Powerhouse.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget that we are part of P3 Christian Radio. We are in the Combos Lounge. Our engineer and producer is Keith Pelzer, and we are affiliated with the Culture Talk Show. And you can find more information on the TOMMIE Talk Show at www.twsuggs.com. And we drop new episodes every other Saturday at 2 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're closing out. with Jack Drummond.